session 2. Okay, so today I'm going to discuss about the commands. Okay, so SQL commands. So what is SQL command, why we need? So in the earlier session we discussed about the SQL intro, right? So today's session SQL commands. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the commands which are available in SQL. Okay, so so these commands are very important in terms of SQL. Your SQL is depends on these commands. So commands are nothing but the instructions. Okay. So we are providing the instruction to your database tables to retrieve those specific data, or and whatever the required data from your tables or your files. So we are iterating by using these commands. So these commands are literally we are providing the in and out communication between your database. You are talking to your database by using your commands. Okay, so these commands are simply like you have provided a input, and that the system will give you the output of that. Okay, so whatever the input you provide, it will provide the output. It's a bidirectional communication between your server and with your database. Okay, so on whatever the query it is there, it will hit into your database and it will produce the results. And basically these are categorized into the 5 types. Okay, so based on the commands, so these are categorized into the 5 types. Okay, so one is a DDL command. Okay, so DDL is a command, and another one is the DQL command. So DQL is the another command, and so let me write this one. Okay, so I'll take it here. Okay, so in a sequence I'll write it everything. Okay, so DDL command, and next one is the DML. Okay, so I'll write the DML over here. So DML is the another command. Okay, and so DML, and next one is the TCL. TCL. I'll explain all those abbreviations. What is that? Okay, and DQL and DCL. Okay, so DCL is another command. So these are the 5 types of commands which are used for SQL. Okay, so DML, TCL, DQL, and DCL. So these are the 5 types of commands literally used in SQL, and these are very important commands, and these commands only we will use for our data processing. Okay, so let's get introduced everything here. Okay, so now let's add DDL. Okay, so what is DDL? DDL is a definition of data definition language. Okay, D stand for data, and another D stand for definition, and L stand for language. Okay, so these DDL, we have a commands called create. So let me drag here. So we'll write all the commands. So first command is create command. Okay, so create, and next one is the drop. So drop is another command, and another one is the alter. So let me arrange it here. Okay, and another one is the truncate. Okay, so here is the alter, and next one is truncate. So here is a truncate option. Okay, so these are all the commands which are related to your DDL commands. Okay, so these are all the DDL commands create, drop, alter, and truncate. Okay, so let's subdivide everything so that it will be easy. Okay, so these are all the commands which are used for DDL. And next commands are DML commands. Okay, so let's add this DML commands as well. Okay, so DML commands are, we have insert, and update, insert, update, and delete. So delete. So these are the commands which are used for the DML commands. Okay. So these are the commands which we have will use for the DML command. Another one is the TCL. Okay. So I think let's scroll this up. Okay. So TCL here we have, so transaction control language. Okay. DML is nothing but data manipulation language. So data manipulation language, we have a insert, and we have a update, and we have a delete. Okay. So I'll explain each topic in a separate, okay, with the lab session. Okay. So TCL is nothing but transaction control language. So here you have the commands called commit. So commit the data and roll back the data. Okay, so all those things you will get. Okay, commit, roll back, and another one is set transaction. So set trans, and another one is the set constraint, constraint. Okay, so these are all the options which you have in terms of DQL. Okay, TCL. Sorry, this is related to TCL. And another one is DQL. So DQL is basically a data query language. So data query language, we have select. Okay, so select is the only one command comes under DQL. Okay, so this is the only one command which is in the DQL. Okay, so you will just select the data by using this DQL, but this is very powerful command in the SQL. So without this command, we cannot write any stored procedures or queries. Okay, so this is very important command. Okay, so DCL is another one. So data control language. So data control language is which is used to grant the permissions or revoke the permissions. Okay, so especially grant and revoke. So these two options are available in the DCL. Okay, grant the permission and revoke the permissions. So these two options are available. Example, anyone need any data to be loaded or anything, so we can just grant and revoke access. Example, any organization, so a new person joined, so we will provide the access by using the grant, and any person left the organization, so we'll simply revoke the access to that particular person. Okay, so this way we'll write this command. Okay, so basically now let's jump into the SQL Server Management Studio. So now till now we have learned the commands and things, right? And so we are going to work on SSMS. Okay, SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, so I'll share the installation steps. I have currently installed the 2022 latest SQL Server Management Studio. Once you click on SSMS, it will open the SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, SSMS stand for SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, so this is very helpful. This tool we will maintain in our SQL Server. Okay, so here now you may get a question, what is a server and what is a database? So server is nothing but a centralized service. Under that service, so we are maintaining the databases. Okay, you can maintain multiple databases under a single server. Okay, what I mean to say here is, um, in a simple terminology, you have a computer. So computer, you have a various kind of like, computer is a standardized system, right? In this system, you have a C drive, D drive, E drive. So based on your requirement, like you are converting, right? So similar way, you are going to divide the databases in your SQL Server based on your requirement. Like you are having sales application, you will create one sales data. And a similar way, C drive is for important files and D drive is for family, um, uh, photos or something, and D drive is for gaming. So like this way you will divide based on your work item, right? So similar way, server also a centralized system. So it communicates with the network services. So, so this is my server. So in this server, I can maintain any number of databases. Okay. So here I'll maintain I'll divide this server into the DB1. Okay. And another is DB2, database 2. And so in a single server, I'm splitting into multiple servers, okay? Multiple DBs, not servers, okay? So DB3. So like this way, I can split my databases. I can create my own databases. And DB1 is for the sales. Example, DB1 is for the sales and DB2 is for the orders, okay? And DB3 is for products, so that we can, instead of searching, so I can simply go and check on this DB basically. So if I want sales data, so I can simply go into the DB1 and sales, so I can represent. And if I need order information, I can simply go on to the order DB. So that is the way you can search your data. Okay, so by using this server architecture. Okay, so you can simply go and search your whatever your required information is there. So that information you could search in the according databases. Okay, so this way you are going to search, and sales related tables will be available in the sales. Okay, all the sales related tables. Okay, so here we have a 100 tables. All the tables are available in this database till table 100. Okay, so similar way we have orders, right? So similar way orders also, if you have a 10 tables, so you will maintain all the 10 tables in this orders. Okay, table 10. So in this way, you are going to maintain all this information into a database. Okay. So I have opened the SQL Server, right? You see here, when I opened, so it opened one service connection to server. So you need to make a connection to your service. So we have a server type. It's a database engine, analysis, reporting, integration, SSIS, integration, runtime. Okay, so these are the all the option. So here we have a database engine is the one which is used to write a queries and the store the tables. These are the other services which are not required. Okay, so database engine, and this is my server name, and this is my authentication types. So authentication, there are various authentication types. Windows authentication, which enables with your by default system authentication, and SQL authentication is something you can provide a dedicated user IDs. Okay, so you can give some dedicated user ID A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and you can give some password, something like this. Okay, with your values. Okay, and MFA is something you are working in an organization. So in this organization, you can just give your organization email IDs. Okay, so this just gives you the email ID which is used for your application. Okay, so Gmail or email, anything you can give your email IDs, and you can give password, user ID and password, and these are all the service principle. If you have any dedicated service principle, so I'll explain in terms of in Azure so that you will get more confident what is this intra service principles and everything. Okay, so these are managed identities. So these are different ways of authentication to your SQL. Okay, in real time while you are working. So this is very important. These two authentications are important. Microsoft Entra, MFA. Okay, so currently while I have installed, I'm using the Windows authentication. Click on connect. Once you click on connect, so this will get enables you the database object. You see at the moment when I connect, so there is a database object explorer. You see here there is couple of options: database security, server objects, replication management. So these are all the options. By default, when you connect to database, these objects will be available. Okay, so here these objects are not important for us, but main thing is this one. This is the important particle for us. Okay, so this part is basically we will use for our data validation. Okay, so sales data is the one where we can use, not sales data, this I have created. And so once you click on, now if you click on here, you see, so there are some, let me arrange this. Okay, so there are some system defined databases. Okay, so this is very important. We have a system defined databases. Those are master, model, MSDB, tempdb. Okay, so master, model, MSDB, tempdb. So master is a by default database, and model is a by default database again, and MSDB also by default database, and tempdb also by default database. Okay, so tempdb is very important, and so these are all not that much important. So tempdb is the one important object for us. So I'll explain what is tempdb and what is the necessary of the tempdb. Okay, so nothing to worry. So here you can store your sample tables. You see, this is in the format of tables. Okay, so we can create a tables over here. Okay, so while learning, you can create your database tables in a master database or model. Okay, so models which stores the model of your tables, relationships, everything. But currently we don't have anything since there is nothing here. Okay, so system defined database tables, external. So these are all by default will be there. Currently there is nothing, right? So we'll show one by one. Okay, so MS master is the main database. Okay, so these four will be common for any database, not only here. So once if you take any database, these are very important. Okay, so now let's get into the database structure. So here I wanted to create my database example as per this diagram. If you take this diagram, you see, so DB1, I have created one sales. Already sales is one database I have created earlier. Okay, so now I'm going to create another database called orders. Okay, how to create a database? There are two options. One option is you can click on new database, and this will by default when you gives your database name, it will create. Okay, this is easy option. And another option is you can write a command. Okay, so how you are going to write the command? So I'm going to write the command create database and database name. So here you need to give your DB name. Okay, so this is the syntax. So now let's create a database over here. So let's copy this command. I'm just going to add. So this is a orders database. Okay, so let's create this database over here. Once you execute, so command completed successfully. Okay, so let's refresh this database now. If you refresh, so you see now there is a database object created with orders database. Okay, so this way you could create multiple databases, and if you click on orders, so you will see similar kind of tables, views, all those things are available. Currently we have not created any tables yet. Okay, so by using these commands, now I'm going to create a table. Okay, so first one is the DDL command. So here we are going to, so if I write these colons and so DDL command, so this is a commented section. If you write like this way, okay, green color means commented, it won't execute. Okay, basically. So now here I'm going to write the first command create table and table name. So table name is, what is the table name? I'm going to give orders. Okay, order having the order ID, order name. So you have to give your data type. I'll explain the data types as well. Integer and O name. So varchar of 30. So I'm going to give some length as well. These I'm going to explain, nothing to worry. O status, order status. Okay, so order status is 130 and something like this way. So I just given these three. Okay, so if you click on here, so you need to select your database. Okay, so there are two options. One is you can click here in the drop down, you can select. Another one is you can write a code, use command, use your database name. If you simply click, so this will use your orders database. Okay, so now let's keep it as it is. This is one way, right? So whenever you wanted to go jump in, currently it's master, right? Now I wanted to jump into orders, use your database name. Simply you can jump. And now let's execute this table so that it will create what we are doing. This table should not create in master database. This table should be stored in orders. That's why I'm selecting orders database. Remember this point. So let me refresh it. You will be able to see the table now here. You see, there is a table called orders over here. And also, if you click on here in the column section, you can see the columns what we have added. All those columns are appeared here. Okay, so keys, constraints, everything will come. Okay, so currently this is a heap table. So just heap is nothing but there is no keys, constraints, everything. Okay, so now I wanted to query whether any data is there or not. So I have mentioned here in the DQL command. If you go to the diagram, you see data query language. I told this is one of the key command. Okay, so this command will select the data from your table. Okay, so you can simply select your data from your database and you can execute it. Okay, you see here, so order ID, order name, order status, it is divided with the values. Okay, so now we will just insert the data and then we will stop the class, and next I will explain about other commands. Okay, so now I'm going to explain DML command here. Okay, So DML command, we will just insert one record, okay, and I'll show. So the insert command is, if you wanted to insert into, and where you need to insert into the orders table, okay, orders and values, and these values are order ID 1 and order name is a laptop, and status is equal to delivered. Okay, something like this way I have represented. Okay, if you execute this DML, sorry, if you execute this command, this will get inserted the data. Now if you run this select statement, now you will be able to see the data. You see, one laptop and delivered. Okay, so this is about the first DML command of the database. Okay, so we have written the DML command. Okay, DDL done DML. So in the next session, I'm going to explain other remaining commands one by one. Okay, so that's all about today's class, and I'll explain remaining things on the session 3. Thank you. Bye.